All right, good afternoon. These events which are live streamed, I've been told I am not allowed to start earlier than the stipulated time, so yeah, we have to wait for the 3 o'clock. In any case, for those who are here for the beginner's meditation class, the beginner's meditation class is held next door in the room to our right, my right, your left. So if you're here for the beginner's class, then you want to be next door. All right. For today's meditation, I'd like to continue on the theme that we did last night, which is that of fostering good relationships. As I was saying yesterday, a lot of our happiness, our joy comes from actually enjoying friendship with somebody whom you trust, somebody who is kind. So, if we were to do our meditation in a way that it feels like you're doing it with a friend, somebody whom you really trust, then 1, it doesn't feel lonely, 2, it doesn't feel boring, and 3, it actually feels joyful and meaningful. So, as we go into this meditation, I'd like you to notice as if there were 2 persons inside. One being whom we normally consider I, the observer, the one who is doing the meditation. And 2, this very good friend, the breath. If you had been at the bedside of a friend or a parent or a child, or if you had had a sick pet, a puppy or a cat, sit on your lap, quite often you can tell what's the feeling, what's the state of well-being of that person or being, pet, that is next to you and breathing. If the breath is jerky and hard, perhaps you might sense a bit of fear, a bit of difficulty. And if that person is anxious, you can tell just through the breath, the anxiety is there. On the other hand, if that person is sad and depressed, you can also tell through the feel of that breath the well-being of this person. So likewise, when we go into this meditation, I invite you to notice this aspect. How does the breath feel like? And it'll tell you how you are feeling inside. And just as you would care for a cat or care for that patient in the bed, you would wish this person to have rest, you would wish this person to be well. In the same way, whatever you're watching once you're inside, you would wish that part of you, maybe your abdominal area, maybe your brain area, maybe the muscles in your jaw, and you would wish that those parts of yourselves to be well. What I would also want to try in the second half of the session is to go into our emotional area, the heart, and see what you feel there later on. And also, as you become more and more sensitive to this kind of observation, this kind of experience, you can do the same thing to sit with our hearts, sit with any old memories, and also to soothe and comfort the heart. So, anyway, it looks like you're all very ready and already in position. So let's start. Being as comfortable as you possibly can in your seat. Being upright without being tense. The first thing I invite you to do is to try and loosen the muscles around the abdominal cavity. What you'd call the six-pack, the stomach muscles, the obliques that run around the sides. And as you relax these muscles, you also get to relax the lumbar muscles behind. I have found that if you start here, you'll immediately find that your breathing, the breath going in and out, actually becomes lighter and a bit more pleasant. As you come to be more familiar with the breath, this experience of meeting the breath, meeting the pleasant sensations, it feels like reuniting with an old friend again. If you're the hugging type, you can even imagine going up to the breath and giving the breath a hug. And just that alone is so comforting. And it's also a thing to look forward to the rest of the hour, to hang out with this good friend. Two good friends with warm and kind intentions can be a little infectious to the rest of the space in the abdominal area. You can feel as if all the organs inside also cheer up and lighten up. And be more at ease. Let's bring that same feeling further up into the chest area. Allow all the muscles between the ribs, around the back, to also loosen up. So this very pleasant breath flows freely throughout the entire torso. It is by noticing how pleasant it feels that the mind wants to stay in this secure and warm place. Being safe, being comfortable, the mind can also relax. The observing mind does not need to be so tense. As you enjoy the pleasant sensations of the breath, now let's expand the area again. To let the breath bring the same kindness to the neck area. The side muscles, and especially the back at the base of the head. And you may want to also allow the breath to flow past your cheeks and your jaw area. Again, bringing the same pleasant sensations of relaxation. Now you can include also the areas around the eye, the eyeballs themselves, those muscles that move the eyeballs. Let them all relax into this space. perhaps we expand the area slightly further up to the forehead, to the frown muscles between the eyebrows, and further up. Soothing these muscles, letting them relax. After all the bodily muscles are relaxed, the next lump of tension that you might feel is probably slightly behind the eyeballs, behind the forehead. As you inhale, imagine air coming through your nostrils to blow through this space in the cranium, as if you were airing an attic or a storeroom. Just freshening up the space. Gently coaxing the mind not to clench itself so hard. I often have the image of the brain being like a crumpled up brown paper bag. And this little breathing exercise feels a bit like fluffing it up again. And it is the sense of joy, of friendship, that bonds your attention to the breath and to whatever you're paying attention to. The more you care about that mind or that space in the brain, the more the attention sticks, wishing for well-being, and happiness. I've also found that this relationship of caring is mutual, bi-directional. If, for example, the mind is now a bit tired, perhaps, you can imagine the mind hug the breath as if it were a pillow and rest. this breath that is full of kindness is very, very comforting. Okay. Now this next part, I'd like to try a little experiment. We have now created a very comforting, safe space. And we have established our breath as a constant companion to anchor us to the here and now. If you feel so inclined, you can go to the heart area and see what we feel. As you breathe in and out, allow the breath to travel around the heart, wrapping it with care and compassion. Just as we were feeling for tensions in the muscles, dark clouds in the head space, see what you pick up from the heart area. Whatever emotions or injuries that you discover, do the same thing as you have done before. Let the breath flow through, bringing kindness and care and compassion. Allowing these old injuries to heal. Even though some of these sensations are quite discomforting, because we have already established a safe, warm space, the mind can be a bit more courageous to look deeply all the time, letting the breath bring kindness to wherever it's needed. this friend, our breath, is like our rock. Standing next to us, even in times of discomfort. Helping us to face any difficult emotions. And also to bring healing. So, depending on the inclination of your mind, you can continue to attend to the heart, or you can choose to take a break. And by that, I mean withdraw from the heart area and then cling on to the breath and take a rest. you recognize how soothing the breath is, the more pleasant it feels. We are coming close to the end. Notice how establishing this safe and friendly, trusting relationship with the breath makes it so much more pleasant for the mind to stay in the here and now. having a good friend around just makes the whole atmosphere so much more homely. You may want to acknowledge this friend and say your goodbyes as we prepare to come out. How do you go? Any comments? No comments? Thank you. From Germany. Due to a tumor operation, I cannot breathe deeply. What do I do if the pain I want to ease gets stronger instead? What is wrong? I suppose the first thing you'd want to do is not to aggravate the physical injury. So if you can't breathe deeply, don't force it. As you would expect, if you're the caring friend next to a patient in bed, if the person says, "Oh, painful," what do you say? You say, "Relax. Try to be as comfortable as you can." And then share kindness, share compassion to that person. So likewise, wherever this pain is, share kindness and compassion to that part of the body, and use the breath that I was talking about throughout the meditation. Isn't scientifically accurate. Air, as we all know, goes through the nostrils, down the trachea, into the bronchi, into the lungs. Doesn't actually flow anywhere else. But because of the rising and falling of the abdomen, because of the rising and falling of the ribs, the whole body moves as you breathe. So it gives the impression that your breath flows everywhere because you feel the movements everywhere. And this movement, the way I reinterpret it, is sort of like a very gentle massage of any part of the body you happen to focus your attention to. So, this question of what is wrong, I guess nothing is wrong as such. It's just what it is. So, the whole idea of meditation then is to be kind, to allow yourself to rest, to not inflict tension on your own self or your own body, and allow nature to take care of the healing. Our mind states only provide the conducive, safe environment for that healing to happen by itself. I hope that answers. Okay, any questions, comments from the floor? Yes, no? 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 Going once? Going twice? Okay, let's pay respects to the Buddha.
Araham Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddham Bhagavantam Abhivade Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammam Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sangham Namami